This is TWiT.
All right, so no more HBO, it's just Max.
Yeah, so Warner Bros. Discovery has made the choice to ditch the HBO branding and go with a new streaming platform called Max. It announced it as we're recording the show just yesterday, and kind of talked about some of the upcoming stuff that will be part of the Max launch. But what I found interesting was how upset people were getting about this change. And it
doesn't take much to upset.
No. I mean, change is the thing that gets people upset. But
indeed,
it's always fascinating when it's HBO has been around for a long time. Yes. It's something that you pay for and then you get to watch shows on it. And so I struggle. I guess what I'm saying is I struggle a little bit with understanding how someone's identity can be tied up in it so much that they get so bent out of shape about the fact that you're getting rid of HBO part of this. What in the world? Regardless of that, that's what's happening. The launch is going to happen May 23rd here in the United States. It'll come to other places later on. And I also, according to this Variety article, they're planning on launching an average of more than 40 new titles and TV show seasons every month.
Wow.
That's a lot, right?
That is. I wonder how that compares to like Netflix, because Netflix in its heyday, and I think we're kind of beyond the Netflix heyday at this point, that felt like a reality.
Yeah.
There was so much streaming
Always
into there, and so much of it was internally produced. It wasn't just, third-party content that they got licensed for, and it got confusing. Like at a certain point, it was just too overwhelming.
What do I even, what's new, what's not, what's theirs, what's not, what's still available, what's been taken off, that kind of thing. They've definitely slowed down some, but there's still new content appearing there all the time. Sure. And that does kind of seem to be what HBO Max is doing, or excuse me, what Max is planning on doing. Along with this change is going to be some changes in sort of the pricing and tier structure. So I want to go over this. There are going to be three tiers, an ad light, an ad free, and an ultimate ad free. The ad light plan, of course, is going to cost the least amount of money at $9.99 a month or $100 a year. You can have two people streaming at the same time. It's only 1080p resolution. You can't download anything. And then there's not Dolby Atmos for the sound. The ad free version, of course, is just like the ad light version, except you don't have ads. You can do 30 offline downloads. So what is an offline download? It just means that at any time, if you know you're going to be without internet connection, you can download several episodes or movies and have those available for a certain period of time.
You're on a flight to Costa Rica, let's say.
Exactly, yeah. And you don't want to pay for the airplane's Wi-Fi or whatever.
Right.
That'll bring it up to $15.99 or $150 a year. And then the ultimate ad-free plan, of course, has ad-free content for concurrent streams. And that's the only one that features the 4K content with Dolby Atmos. So the pricing structure is interesting. Along with Warner Brothers Discovery making the change in January to actually bring up the price of HBO Max at the time for the plan that didn't have ads. If you were on the ad-supported plan, it was fine. I am a little curious because I believe right now I get HBO Max through my AT&T, that's my phone plan. And as part of it, they offer HBO Max. So I'm curious how that is going to change, if it is going to change. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. If you're wondering what's on Max and what's going to be on Max, you've got Game of Thrones, The Last of Us, Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, The Dark Knight trilogy, a lot of very popular movie franchises, as well as a few television show television shows that have been pretty popular.
Now,
but
is this that those shows are going to be there in 4K, or that those shows are only there?
Those shows, I think, are just only going to be there.
Oh wow, what a bummer!
Because that's
their premium stuff,
exactly,
for sure.
Yeah, so that's already been a part of what they offer. I mean, let me be clear. In terms of streaming, it's only going to be there. If you want to buy it, they're still going to sell it in those different online stores. But as far as, hey, anytime I want to watch the Two Towers, I would need to have this plan. And it does say that it's going to continue to add more 4K content, and will even try to do some theatrical releases. But of course, there was a question of why are we getting rid of HBO? And it does sound like the biggest reason for this is kids. So when Warner Brothers Discovery was looking at this as a whole, and knowing that on top of having the sort of classic HBO content that they've always had, but that it was going to be bringing in this content library that includes a lot of stuff for kids. I like the way that the CEO of Global Streaming and Games put it, said, it's not exactly where parents would eagerly drop off their kids, talking about HBO. So the idea is like,
if HBO was a place that you could drop your kids off, then
yes, you wouldn't drop it off there. But Warner Brothers Discovery has a lot of kids characters, animation, all that kind of stuff that kids are into. So they want parents to be aware that in subscribing to Max, they can get the stuff they want. The kids can also get the stuff they want. Their worry is that if the parents, I guess, see HBO, then they think, oh, that's that racy stuff. That's that stuff that, would not be for the kids. But I did find it interesting as well, and I'm trying to find it now, basically addressed directly that people can get kind of up in their feels about it. Casey Bloys, Chief Content Officer of HBO and Max, said, and I quote, "The same people who are concerned today about taking HBO out of the name, in a lot of cases, are the same people who were outraged that HBO was put in the name in the first place, that it was called HBO Max. It was a lot of, how was HBO going to be put next to The Big Bang Theory? So I understand and appreciate the passion that people feel for the HBO brand and protecting and believing. Nobody believes that more than me and my team. But as I said before, it's a premium brand. It is not designed to take on everything in the library or in the streaming service." So very clearly saying like, yeah, we've heard those folks whining before and everything worked out just fine at that point. So it's going to be fine this time.
I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, it's just a name change.
It's a name change. It's just a name change.
I mean, we got used to the Nintendo Wii. Mm-hmm. Like, there are bad names all over the place.
When the iPad
that was yes, exactly.
I remember all of the conversation.
Oh boy, yes, I remember that too.
And now it's just, it
just is what it is. Yeah, exactly.
I think, no one's going to be confused, going, what is this? I don't know what this is all of a sudden. When the people who had HBO and want to continue to have HBO are going to know where they can get HBO through this subscription. So yeah, I guess it's fun. It's fun and funny as sort of branding confusion, or not a branding confusion, but sort of examining the fact that this has taken place and going, I wonder why they made this change. But as far as the company goes, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you remember when Netflix changed its name to Quickster?
No. Was that an April Fool's joke, or was that?
No, this was a real thing, and they ended up reverting it, if memory serves. This was when was this? I think it was like it was 2011. In fact, VentureBeat, Devendra Hardawar writing about it September 18th, 2011 on VentureBeat.
Oh wow.
But yes, because they felt they needed to have a different name for the DVD delivery service and the streaming service, and it did not last very long. But yes, Quickster, spelled QWIKSTER.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So,
TWiT.
name changes happen. Max is not the worst name change, although it feels very generic to me.
That is the one. I agree. If in terms of a branding play, it does feel incredibly generic. Where do you watch that on Max? Who?
Max what?
Max?
Yeah, who's Max?
Yeah. Max is
Maxwell
lending you the DVDs
Blu-ray,
or what's
Blu-rays to me.
Yeah, sorry, DVDs. That's so like
Yes.
Max with the Blu-ray library. Now, Discovery Plus is going to continue as a standalone service, according to Variety. So for folks who are subscribed to just what Discovery Plus offers, you'll get to continue to watch, I believe that's HGTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, TLC. Those shows will continue to be available through Discovery Plus. So you don't have to worry about, in the sort of attempt to merge a lot of the content together, they're not going to drop that less expensive subscription, because Discovery Plus is just $6.99 a month without ads, $4.99 a month with ads. So yeah, outside of sort of kicking HBO to the side, everything is remaining relatively the same.
Okay.
And I guess also congratulations to Warner Brothers Discovery for getting the max.com URL. That's where you'll be able to find the services at max.com. So Max, the one to watch is the tagline there.
The one to watch.
It's all here. Iconic series, award-winning movies, fresh originals, and family favorites.
Okay.
Start streaming May 23rd.
It doesn't upset me. Although HBO, I have fond memories of HBO when I was a kid. That opening intro thing, like it's permanently ingrained in my head. So HBO as a brand has a long, I have a long felt affinity for HBO as a brand because it's been in my life for so long. So whatever, HBO, you do you.
Yeah.
You want to be Max? You want people to call you Max?
Maybe that's
Max is your new name.
We should think about it as like HBO just wants to go. Let's retire.
Yeah,
it's worked for so long.
You know what? HBO just wants to give itself brand new name. It wants to be known differently. Yeah. You know, it's had that life.
There you go.
It's time for something
new. So yes, Max.com and folks with HBO Max will see that rollover take place. And for the most part, at least for now, you won't see any changes in pricing or structure for yourself. Like when it launches in May, that is going to remain the same. I would imagine that at some point, just like anytime a cellular carrier gets new plans, you eventually get rolled over into the new plans.
Yeah.
But as it stands, that's just going to stay how it is.
This episode of Tech Break is brought to you by ACI Learning. Certificates open doors to entry-level IT positions and promotions for those already in the field. CompTIA courses with IT Pro from ACI Learning make it easy to go from daydreaming about that career in IT to launching it. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit to learn how you can elevate your skills.